This is Robert Margolacci, the MindShare Learning Report, Canada's Learning and Technology e-magazine. And welcome to this week in Canadian EdTech MindShareTV podcast with our very special guest, Dr. Mario Chaisson, who is the Director of Research and Innovations and Change Management at District Scolaire, Francophone Son in wonderful Moncton, New Brunswick. And thank you for joining me, Dr. Chaisson.
Well, good afternoon there, Robert, and it's nice to see you. I can't recall the last time that we had this great conversation, you and I.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about 2021, in October of 2021. And I think learning environments were very different at that time. And I look forward to exploring your innovations and research since that time. But let me say a little bit about Dr. Chaisson. Is known for his practical insights on learning and innovation, more than 25 years of experience in the education systems. Mario is the Director of Research and Innovation and Change Management, as I mentioned, for District Scolaire, Frankfurt South, as well as an associate research at the University de Moncton in New Brunswick, Canada. He is currently Chief Research Investigator on the longitudinal research study called Entrepreneur, Tomorrow's Education Today. This past founding chair of the C21 CIO Alliance. Dr. Chaisson, you've been a busy man, and your passion on learning environments is something that you can see in our background. Our work in learning environments mimic much of your vision, and thank you for that inspiration. And your doctoral thesis really was a catalyst for what you do and your transformation that you've implemented in your school district.
Yeah, that's correct. After 25 years, try to understand, I know the challenge of an education system. And when I'm talking about challenge, it's not really a challenge, is that the work I try to investigate is that why that the speed of our society evolving much faster than the school system as a whole, and try to understand that the increasingly gap or the mismatch between the role and responsibility of the school system within the communities, while that innovation is embracing and transforming the industry, right? In this, so definitely one of the five elements. In fact, the evolution of digital technologies, the evolution of automation, the evolution of globalization, the evolution of environment, which is one of the aspects that we're going to deep dive to it, but also the evolution of leadership. And those are the five elements that really can pinpoint the rationale why that the innovative societies is evolving faster than the education system. So what do we do? So moving forward with that is that when we found out that environments or the learning or the working in environment have a significant impact on how that the learning is done, but also the competencies are developed, how the environment have an impact on that. So part of the journey of that is that I partnered with the University of Melbourne, where that, they were kind of spearhead, this whole notion of space and design. And they had this special project called Innovative Learning Environment and Teacher Change. And that was like a project scope of 5 years from 2017 to 2020, 4 years actually. And I spent a lot of work and time with them. And this is where I really gathered, said, wow, yeah, it really significant impact, which really gave the birth of the Intrapreneur project, which en français, c'est Centre Apprendre, which is located on the top right-hand side of the screen itself. So this kind of created a momentum on how that we can move forward. And the go forward plan now is that now we have a better understanding about the teacher change into this innovative learning environment. But now we will be addressing the work about the student experience. So in the middle now, we're embarking on this new journey from 2023 to 2028, which is the innovative and learning environment with student experience. And with that, there's two fundamental themes that have emerged, is that we have also innovative learning environment and leadership experience, which means the system leadership, but also the innovative learning environment plus community engagement. So this whole notion now of the word of what is the entrepreneur project is basically the foundation of system transformation, and how that you transform a school system that evolve at the same speed of our society.
There's a famous quote that I've heard repeated in education: innovation happens at the speed of trust. How does that resonate?
Absolutely. And when you talk about trust, you talk about, all members of the community that build trust, that build relationship. I'd like to maybe to point out that when we're talking about leadership, right? Okay, trust is based on, they call that as part of the evolution of leadership is swarm leadership, is responsive leadership. And the responsive relationship, is connectivity, it's connection. The work of Dr. Richard Kelly really inspired this whole notion of the go forward plan on this project. So thank you for bringing this forward.
And you are collaborating on a book, I understand, with Dr. Kelly.
Yeah, we're currently working on a special book, and it's probably that we're going to talk about leadership and education. We're going to talk about community, but also we're going to talk about this whole notion of what is a learner, right? Because everybody's a learner in the world system.
And post COVID, I mean, COVID proved to be one of the most transformational periods in education. And Dr. Steve Jordan's talked about the threat of the great snapback, which we've seen some of that, but true innovation continues to move forward. As you've been unfolding your strategy within your school district, perhaps you can paint a picture of some of the learning environments and the collaboration that's happening. And school is not restricted to four walls anymore for that.
Yeah, it's such a good point, because like when we were in the pandemic, we were in a school, but we were in a virtual school. And the whole notion of flexibilities and malleabilities and multifunctionalities in the virtual school really bring another perspective on how that the physical space could look like, right? Okay, this in how that you can virtually, you can co-teach with a couple classes virtually. How can we do that physically? So it brings the notion of what now and I'm just going to segue about what is the entrepreneur project is all about. So how that being experienced through the pandemic stimulate an opportunity to innovate and teach differently, right? But also as a system, how you can transform that to better personalize the learning, the teaching, the students' learning, but also how you can personalize the school within the community. So if I'm continue is what is the entrepreneur project is actually the construction of an eco community. And this eco community is the notion of creating a network. And the connected community learning network is the complex adaptive coalition between school, industry, partners, health, all working together. And of course, research, all working together to better respond and adapt, right, to the school system, but also to the community need in all aspects. So an eco community that thrive, it's an eco that's a community that ensure a healthy and an active citizen, right? It focuses on a community and it's an economy, but most importantly, create this community learning network. As always, you're saying it takes a community to raise a child. How do you collaborate? How do you change this new notion of mindset? How does structure that look like? And how did this new connection between health, municipalities, and schools working together to provide an authentic and also personalized learning to the students?
My sense is that post-pandemic, there's never been a more pent-up desire for partnership and openness to that.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. This right because we were kind of put in a position that we have to figure out together in the chaotic, right? To find a way to collaborate. So basically, it really stimulates another type of behavior and a different type of mindset, and it stimulates innovation because of that. So it's a good point that you mentioned. So the when we're talking about the role of an eco community is that we want to make sure that we want to have a smart community, and within the smart community you got smart people and creative, right? And for this we need to have smart schools, and for this you have this notion now of the principles element that communities or smart schools are basically transformed into community learning network, as I just stipulated, into smart people. That's mean that it's a prosper community. And when we talk about a smart community, it's an active and healthy citizen. And when we bring this community all together, that is the new economy and the new eco community.
Brilliant. And it's interesting how health fits into the equation, well-being. Kids need to be outdoors and active, and that weighed on. That's a post-COVID kind of hangover, where kids didn't get that really important element of outdoor activity and fitness and sport and exercise. And talk to me about the importance of that element in your evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. This whole learning journey is to be conscious and make sure important that the well-being from a school culture, like is really anchored, right? The well-being. So how do we make sure that that not only that the student are active, right? This, but also teachers, also the staff, right? Okay, this that this whole notion as a community is the health mindset needs to be part of the learning journey. That's becoming a learning outcome, right? As a skills. So just moving forward about this interconnection, when I said complex adaptive coalition between these two components, is that from a skill competencies perspective is how does it work? How does it work? Right. Okay. So it's a journey where that the teaching and the learning is decentralized, which just means that it's personalized. Right. Okay. And the notion of this backbone of the learning experience is that it's weaving between the school communities and the industry. So basically, the industry stakeholders is becoming co-teachers, right? Okay, and they're becoming now instant feedback to the learner. This right, okay, this, and we utilize the real-world professional transmit knowledge and experience and expertise, right, as a basic node of the learning network, right? This. So
Powerful
at that
stuff.
point, the community is the classroom, and the
Brilliant.
school is the innovative learning community center responding to the local needs.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Share with us a few images of what your classrooms look like, because I always appreciate, innovative spaces that really engage kids and allow teachers to really teach in a 21st century model, if you will.
Yeah, very good. So how does it work, right? So
Yeah.
in our schools, like we got 39 schools, and what we need to
Wow.
have is this is supported by research. So we identify 6 schools that were really trying to study the phenomenon on how that the school is becoming on paper an innovative learning community center, right? Okay, and what's the behavior of every member or every people within this now new infrastructure, which was not school. So there's this notion of that there's huge classrooms, or you call that learning labs, but it's notion of learning community. So this school here that you're seeing is in Saint John. It's Samuel Centre de Champlain, and what it does is that they have one grade 7 class, one grade 8 class, one grade 9 class, and one grade 10, right? So you got all the teachers together, all the curriculum together, all the
Amazing.
students together, right? This, and it's creating there this learning community at school, which is not called school. And they're utilizing project-based activities to to support community projects,
So
etc.
true
So
personalization and hands-on learning and problem solving.
absolutely, right? Okay, this with real authentic problem solving community
But
issues.
but it's not, could I use the term rocket science? What's been holding us back? And you are leading the way in many respects in this learning environment that you've created, but it doesn't happen overnight, does it?
No, and thank you for the kind words. I'm not alone doing this. I've the senior management team at District France, it's a team effort, right? You really need to be a team, to thrive and move forward of having a better understanding about the system transformation. In my acknowledging point of understanding why we have a little bit success so far is because what happened is that we're not implementing a program or an initiative. What we do is that we're amplifying, right? Okay, this, and we're not forcing change, right? This, what we do is that we're personalizing system transformation. So those are the behavior, and that's all connected to the type of leadership we need to amplify, and we need to anchor its behavior to personalize that. And that's the reason why that we went through. We started with 6 schools, and now we've got 30 schools engaged in this system transformation.
Congratulations.
Yeah, this. So with that, and I know we have a few minutes
Yeah.
left.
Well, I can't wait to come and visit.
Yeah, this I would love to. So we have a coalition committee, right? Okay, which we have now at different type of stakeholders within the community: health, business, industry, mayor communities. We got mayors. We're co-conceive and discuss, how the go forward plan, because the school system cannot do this alone now. We need everybody stakeholders with this. We've got a well-known, recognized research team, which is basically understanding that what is the impact of term of measurable effects that the entrepreneur project has on the mismatch between formal education school system, right, and the challenge of the innovative society. We've got 6 themes of research topic, which, as you indicated, is a longitudinal research. We've got a plethora of collaborative research from 4 universities now. So, and I think there's more that I forget to add research to this. But what we want to understand is the following: is in order to understand the phenomenon on how a system transformation of a school to an innovative community learning center, that means to meet the community. So we're studying this with 3 phases of transition. So the first phase is merge. So we're merging students, subject, teachers with the grade level, right? So 1 grade 9, 1 grade 10, or grade 10 like mentioned. The converge is that we're converging grade 9, 10, 11 all together. And that point that the school is becoming now a learning community as a whole, right? Okay. And phase 3 is that the school is not called a school anymore. It's actually called an innovative community learning center, where that that we're amplifying and in establishing, right, the centers of excellence, health, entrepreneurship, robotics, pedagogy, AR, VR, esports, all that. So now we're bringing industry within the learning journey of a school. Yeah. You're muted, Robert. You're muted.
Talk to me about the Australian trip.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So as the Australian trip, if I want to bring back this whole notion, the whole research part, I can present that some maybe some other time. But the following step now, and we had 21 countries involved with that. So we had 1 Canadian team. So I was the leader of the Canadian team, and thank you again for being part of this Canadian. So we co-constructing the next 5 years about what's the impact about design and also learning outcome. What's the impact of the design and engagement? What's the impact of the design and also inclusivity? So after looking about your background of your co-working space, right, the design has got a huge impact, right? So now we have this international team, right? Okay, that for the next 5 years, we're going to try now to having a good strategic plan about what specific research that we want to do, right? To have a better understanding about student experience within these innovative learning environments.
Well, brilliant. Kudos to you for that. And speaking of learning environments, I want to share my screen for a moment that takes us back to a place that we were collectively, and I think it'll bring back some memories. And look at the date. Look at the date. That was February 24th, 2020.
Yeah, we were in Yukon, isn't it?
That was the last trip most people had before COVID.
Oh, exactly. It was just like a few weeks, not even a week or two.
Yeah, no, it was 2 weeks later, pretty much, or
Wow.
thereabouts. So,
Yeah.
uh, you know, it says a lot about where we've come from and where we're going. And so, the inspiration that came out of COVID, it's never been a more exciting time to be in education, I like to say. And the inspiration that you provide with your research and your leadership in Francophone said is really inspiring and infectious, and truly an opportunity to share with others, not only in Canada and beyond, because we are international. This is the internet. And so grateful of your time today and all your hard work in transforming school to what it should be today, Dr.
Ah.
Chaisson.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to provide an update since our last meeting, our last webcast in 2021, I think it is. So yeah, so looking forward to maybe 2 years from now and provide a little bit more update from a research perspective.
Excellent, Dr. Chaisson. Thank you again. That was Dr. Mario Chaisson, the Director of Research, Innovations, and Change Management at District Scolaire, Frankfurt Sud. My name is Robert Merdlacci, the Mindshare Learning Report. Be sure to check out www.mindshare.learning to get your latest issue. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.